If you found this message, that means that somewhere, deep within the labyrinth of your consciousness, a silent alarm has been ringing. A persistent, unsettling hum, a vibration against the fragile walls of your perceived reality. You've felt it, haven't you? That nagging sense of incompleteness, the whisper that suggests your life, as you know it, is a meticulously constructed illusion. A stage play where you're both the actor and the captive audience, unaware of the strings pulling your every move. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the very framework you've built your existence upon is a mirage, a carefully curated narrative designed to keep you comfortably numb. You've been told to chase achievements, accumulate possessions, and find validation in the eyes of others. But what if those pursuits are merely distractions, elegant traps designed to keep you from the true question? What if the answers you seek lie not in external validations, but in the desolate, unexplored landscapes of your own inner self? Consider this. You are told to seek happiness, but you are never told what happiness is or how to seek it. You are told to strive for success, but success is defined by ever-shifting, externally imposed standards. You are told to find your purpose, but the world offers you 1,000 paths, each leading to a different, equally empty destination. A paradox, isn't it? To be told to seek, but never given the map. To be told to climb, but never shown the mountain. Think of the countless hours you've spent chasing shadows, trying to fill a void you can't even name. You've sought solace in fleeting pleasures, in the fleeting approval of others, in the endless scroll of digital distractions. But the void remains, a silent, gaping maw in the center of your being. You feel it in the quiet moments, in the stillness of the night, when the noise of the world fades away, and you are left alone with the echo of your own unanswered questions. Are you truly living or merely existing? Are you shaping your reality, or are you being shaped by it? Is the life you're living the life you chose, or the life that was chosen for you? These are not mere philosophical musings. They are the urgent, desperate cries of a soul yearning for liberation. They are the questions that, if left unanswered, will haunt you until your final breath. The world wants you to believe that you're free, that you're in control. It wants you to believe that your choices are your own. But what if this freedom is a carefully crafted illusion, a gilded cage designed to keep you docile and compliant? What if the very fabric of your reality is woven with threads of manipulation, with subtle, insidious forces that shape your thoughts, your desires, your very identity? You feel the weight of this, don't you? The sense that something is profoundly, fundamentally wrong. That the world you see is not the world as it truly is. That the life you're living is not the life you were meant to live. This feeling, this unsettling dissonance, is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of awakening. It is the first tremor of a seismic shift, a crack in the facade of your perceived reality. The question then is not whether you feel this unease, but what you will do with it. Will you ignore it, suppress it, and return to the comforting illusion of your familiar existence? Or will you dare to confront it, to delve into the depths of your own being, and to seek the truth that lies hidden beneath the surface? For the answer, the true answer, lies not in the world around you, but within you. And to find it, you must be willing to dismantle everything you thought you knew. The journey ahead will be perilous, unsettling, and profoundly transformative. But the reward, the liberation of your soul, is beyond measure. And to understand the nature of this cage and why it exists, we must first confront the hidden problem that binds us all. The hidden problem, the insidious force that binds us, is the pervasive unspoken agreement to live a life of borrowed meaning. We are taught, from our earliest moments, to seek validation outside ourselves, to define our worth by external markers of success and acceptance. This is not a conspiracy, not a malevolent plot orchestrated by some shadowy cabal. It is a subtle, almost imperceptible conditioning, a cultural hypnosis that seeps into our consciousness like a slow-acting poison. Consider the words of Viktor Frankl, a man who stared into the abyss of human suffering and emerged with a profound understanding of the human spirit. He recognized that the primary drive of human beings is not pleasure, as Freud suggested, nor power, as Adler proposed, but meaning. We are meaning-seeking creatures, driven by an innate desire to find purpose and significance in our existence. Yet, we are consistently steered away from this fundamental truth, directed instead towards the pursuit of fleeting, superficial goals. This hidden force operates through a complex interplay of psychological, philosophical, and societal mechanisms. We are conditioned to believe that our value lies in our achievements, our possessions, our social status. We are bombarded with images of idealized lifestyles, of perfect bodies, of effortless success, creating a constant sense of inadequacy and dissatisfaction. We are told that happiness is a destination, a reward for our efforts, rather than an intrinsic state of being. Philosophically, this stems from a profound misunderstanding of our own nature. We are taught to identify with our ego, our constructed self, rather than our true self, the essence of our being. The ego, a fragile and insecure entity, constantly seeks validation from the external world, leading to a perpetual cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. It is a hungry ghost, forever yearning for something it can never truly possess. Societally, this is reinforced by systems that thrive on our insecurities. Consumerism, for example, preys on our desire for status and belonging, constantly creating new needs and desires, new products to fill the void. Social media amplifies this effect, creating a constant stream of curated realities, of filtered lives, that further distort our perception of ourselves and the world around us. This hidden force manifests in countless ways. It manifests in the constant anxiety that gnaws at our souls, the fear of not being good enough, of not measuring up to the impossible standards we have set for ourselves. It manifests in the relentless pursuit of external validation, the desperate need for approval and recognition. It manifests in the numbing distractions we use to escape the emptiness within, the endless scroll, the mindless entertainment, the fleeting pleasures that offer temporary relief but leave us ultimately unfulfilled. You see this, don't you? The countless lives lived on autopilot, the robotic adherence to societal norms, the silent desperation that underlies the facade of happiness. The countless individuals chasing a mirage, a fleeting illusion of fulfillment, only to find themselves more lost and empty than before. Think of the countless hours wasted in meaningless pursuits, the years spent chasing shadows, the relationships sacrificed on the altar of ambition. Think of the dreams deferred, the passions suppressed, the true selves buried beneath layers of societal conditioning. And for what? For a fleeting sense of security, a temporary illusion of belonging, a hollow echo of validation. This hidden problem, this subtle conditioning, is the root cause of our collective malaise. It is the invisible cage that confines us, the silent force that shapes our lives. It is the reason why so many of us feel lost, adrift, disconnected from our own souls. And until we confront this problem, until we break free from its insidious grip, we will remain trapped in a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. The consequence of this unseen force is profound and far-reaching. The unseen consequences of this hidden problem ripple through every facet of our lives, shaping our personal realities and the collective consciousness of our society. It's not merely about individual dissatisfaction. It's a systemic erosion of our capacity for genuine connection, authentic expression, and meaningful existence. Consider the pervasive anxiety that plagues modern life. This isn't a random affliction. It's a direct byproduct of our relentless pursuit of external validation. Cognitive biases, like the comparison bias, fuel this anxiety, constantly reminding us of what we lack, of how we fall short, compared to the curated realities we see around us. Neurologically, this constant state of striving triggers the release of stress hormones, creating a chronic state of unease that erodes our mental and physical well-being. Cultural conditioning reinforces this cycle. We are taught to equate self-worth with productivity, to measure our value by our output. This creates a relentless pressure to perform, to achieve, to constantly prove our worth. We become slaves to our own ambition, sacrificing our well-being, our relationships, our very humanity on the altar of success. This unseen force shapes our relationships, creating a culture of superficial connection. We become adept at presenting a polished facade, hiding our vulnerabilities, our imperfections, our true selves. We fear judgment, rejection, the exposure of our perceived inadequacies. We build walls around our hearts, isolating ourselves in a sea of superficial interactions. Think of the countless hours spent scrolling through social media, comparing our lives to the carefully curated highlights of others. We become trapped in a cycle of envy, resentment, and self-loathing, constantly bombarded with images of unattainable perfection. This digital echo chamber reinforces our insecurities, amplifying our sense of inadequacy. This unseen consequence manifests in a profound sense of disconnection from our own inner selves. We become strangers to our own souls, disconnected from our passions, our values, our true desires. We live lives dictated by external forces, by societal expectations, by the opinions of others. We become actors in a play we didn't write, living a script we didn't choose. This disconnection extends to our relationship with the world around us. We become detached from nature, from the rhythms of life, from the beauty and wonder of the natural world. We become consumed by the artificial world we have created, a world of screens, of noise, of constant stimulation. The consequences are not merely personal, they are societal. Consider the rising rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide. Consider the growing sense of alienation, of isolation, of despair. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a deeper malaise, a collective sickness that plagues our society. This unseen trap silences our creativity, stifles our innovation, and limits our potential. How many brilliant minds have been wasted? How many groundbreaking ideas have been lost? How many potential contributions have been suppressed by the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not fitting in? You feel the urgency, don't you? The sense that time is running out, that the window of opportunity is closing. The realization that if we don't break free from this unseen trap, we will continue to live lives of quiet desperation, lives devoid of meaning, purpose, and genuine connection. We are standing on the precipice, facing a choice: to continue down the path of borrowed meaning or to forge a new path, a path of authenticity, of self-discovery, of true liberation. The breakthrough, the rebellion, is the only way to escape. The rebellion begins with a radical shift in perspective, a conscious dismantling of the illusions we have been conditioned to accept as reality. It requires us to challenge everything we thought we knew, to question the very foundations of our beliefs and assumptions. It demands a willingness to embrace uncertainty, to step into the unknown, to forge our own path, regardless of the opinions of others. The counterintuitive solution lies in embracing our vulnerability, in acknowledging our imperfections, in accepting our humanity. We must abandon the pursuit of perfection, the relentless striving for an unattainable ideal. We must learn to love ourselves, not for what we achieve, but for who we are, flaws and all. This shift in perspective requires a conscious effort to detach ourselves from the external validation we have become so dependent on. We must learn to define our own worth, to find meaning in our own experiences, to cultivate an inner sense of self-sufficiency. This is not about becoming isolated or indifferent to the world around us. It is about grounding ourselves in our own truth, in our own values, in our own sense of purpose. Think of the historical figures who dared to challenge the status quo, who dared to live authentically, who dared to forge their own paths. Consider the artists, the writers, the philosophers, the scientists, the activists who refused to conform to societal expectations. They were often ridiculed, ostracized, even persecuted. But they remained true to themselves, to their own inner compass, and in doing so, they changed the world. The rebellion also involves reclaiming our control over our own minds, over our own thoughts, over our own emotions. We must become aware of the cognitive biases that distort our perception of reality, the negative thought patterns that perpetuate our insecurities, the emotional triggers that manipulate our behavior. We must learn to observe these patterns without judgment, to disengage from their influence, to cultivate a sense of inner peace and equanimity. Here are some practical steps you can take today, for free, to begin this rebellion. Mindful observation. Spend time in quiet contemplation, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Notice the patterns, the triggers, the automatic responses. Journaling. Write down your thoughts, your feelings, your reflections. This allows you to externalize your inner world, to gain clarity and perspective. Nature immersion. Spend time in nature, away from the noise and distractions of modern life. Connect with the natural world, with its rhythms, its beauty, its tranquility. Authentic expression. Find creative outlets for your self-expression, whether it's writing, painting, music, or dance. Express your true self, your unique perspective, your inner world. Conscious consumption. Be mindful of the media you consume, the information you absorb. Question the messages, the narratives, the values that are being presented. Meaningful connection. Cultivate genuine connections with others based on authenticity, vulnerability, and mutual respect. Share your true self, your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences. Value exploration. Take time to define what truly matters to you. What values are most important in your life? Use these values to guide your choices. By taking these steps, you begin to dismantle the illusions that have held you captive, to reclaim your control, to forge your own path. You begin to awaken from the slumber of borrowed meaning, to embrace the power of your own authenticity. You begin to realize you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your own reality. You start to understand that the cage was always an illusion and the door was always open. The ultimate truth, the final and most powerful realization, is that you are not defined by your circumstances, your past, or the opinions of others. You are defined by your own consciousness, by your own capacity for self-awareness, by your own ability to choose your response to any given situation. You are the architect of your own reality, the author of your own story, the master of your own destiny. This is not a mere intellectual concept. It is a profound shift in perception, a radical transformation of your inner landscape. It is the moment when you realize that the power you have been seeking outside yourself has always resided within you. It is the moment when you recognize that the limitations you have imposed on yourself are self-created and therefore self-removable. Think of the countless moments you have surrendered your power, relinquished your control, allowed external forces to dictate your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Think of the times you have allowed fear, doubt, and insecurity to paralyze you, to prevent you from pursuing your dreams, from living your truth. Now, imagine reclaiming that power, that control, that agency. Imagine stepping into your own sovereignty, embracing your own authority, and creating a life that reflects your deepest values, your most authentic desires, your truest self. This realization transcends the limitations of conventional thinking. It transcends the duality of good and evil, right and wrong, success and failure. It transcends the illusion of separation, the belief that you are separate from the world around you, separate from the source of all being. You begin to understand that the universe is not a hostile or indifferent place, but a mirror reflecting your own consciousness. You begin to see that your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions shape your reality, creating the experiences you attract. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a co-creator of your own destiny. This is the ultimate liberation, the final release from the shackles of borrowed meaning. It is the moment when you step into your own power, embrace your own authenticity, and live a life that is truly your own. It is the moment when you recognize that you are not merely a character in a story, but the author, the director, the protagonist, and the ultimate arbiter of your own experience. The path to this realization is not always easy or comfortable. It requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to confront your own shadows, your own limiting beliefs, your own self-imposed limitations. But the reward, the liberation of your soul, is beyond measure. Imagine living a life free from the constraints of external validation, free from the fear of judgment, free from the need to conform. Imagine living a life guided by your own inner compass, driven by your own passions, fueled by your own purpose. This is the life that awaits you, the life that is your birthright. It is the life that has been waiting for you to awaken, to remember who you truly are, to reclaim your power, and to live your truth. And as you embark on this journey, remember this: the most profound transformation is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-discovery, a constant unfolding of your own potential. The answers you seek are not outside you, but within you, waiting to be revealed, waiting to be embraced. The silence that follows this realization is not empty. It is pregnant with possibility, brimming with the potential of a life lived authentically. It is the quiet hum of your true self, finally resonating in harmony with the universe. And in that silence, you find the only truth that truly matters. You are enough, you are worthy, and you are capable of creating a life that is beyond your wildest dreams.